to the Patrick Whitfield Show. I am here sitting with who I think should be NFL Coach of the Year. This man has completely turned the season around, turned the naysayers around. Matthew Desring of the Tampa Bay Bucks. So, Matt, first of all, you started off 1-5, 1-6, entering the Week 8 Thursday night football game. Can you tell me, what went down? Anything you do anything special? Because really, you ripped off 3 games in a row, and then after that, despite losing 2 in a row, you went on to win multiple games, and now you're 8-8 entering the final game of the week against the Giants. So tell me, kind of what happened there, I guess. Because apparently a flip switched something. Yeah, I appreciate being on the show. So I guess the turnaround for me was before that Thursday night game, I had my father come down to the game. Papa Rod, he didn't really come to a lot of games, being that he's a little bit older, kind of enjoying life, not really being around football as much, not watching, besides the Buccaneers games. But we just talked for hours at dinner, and he brought up days back when I was his OC at Hobart, and he mentioned how we struggled, with when we first entered the MAC conference, and it was looking rough. And he's like, yeah, people thought that we didn't belong at the Division I level, and he just remembered that it was going to work. We just needed one game. It was one game to flip the switch. And he just told me that this is the game. This is the game to flip the switch. And if you get these guys believing, then you're on a roll. And I do remember that because I believe we went on to absolutely dominate in the MAC with Jordan Williams. He went on to win the Heisman. And I also remember the Big Ten. We struggled. And then when I got promoted versus Minnesota on the road, that's when we completely flipped the switch and we became a force to be reckoned with. And he also mentioned about how we got Jordan Williams to win the Heisman, and because at first we were very pass heavy, and he goes, well, we just established the run game that helped him. But then also Dustin Miller, who's a true freshman, 5-star, had all the hype in the world. Very similar to Pat Barry, where underrated legs, but had a cannon of an arm. He struggled at first mightily as well. And then, I know it sounds a lot simpler than it should be, but we just said, hey, if we establish the run game first, then we're good. That's how Hobart was successful. We had a dominant run game. Then it turned into basically an air raid. Syracuse, I had a dominant run game. Auburn, run game. So, and it's my fault for abandoning it. But overall, I think for sure that Saints game really lit a fire under us, and then losing 2 in a row against the Cardinals and the Falcons really humbled us. And then once we won 2, 3 in a row, and we kind of realized we're beating teams that are going to play a huge factor for the playoffs, I think then we're unstoppable. So I'm looking forward to the Giants. I know that they're a tough team. I know that they're going to make the playoffs, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to try. And I hope to get a win, regardless, ugly, whatnot. A win's a win. And I hope we get in the playoffs and show what we can do as a team. We're not going to waste any more time here. You heard the interview from the Patrick Whitfield show. That a lot is on the line, as Gilmore is going to take it and lose a yard. That regardless, win or go home, win or lose, we should be proud of this season. As Pat Barry's going to throw it to Julian. Julian's going to pick up a good chunk of 4 yards. As a lot of playoff implications are here. Quez Watkins almost, but number 36 is in the way. So for some reason, Chris Bolton is starting over Daniel Jones. Maybe, but they do have Saquon and Eddie Jackson and Devin White are on the tackle. Maybe they just want to give this guy, maybe Daniel Jones was hurt and they're riding the hot hand. Either way, it's going to be interesting. Jamel Dean forces the incomplete pass, 3rd and 8. As Bolton, he's going to throw, and it's going to be to Darius Slayton, I believe, for a pickup. Yeah, it is. Gain of 23. Great concept by them. As it is going to be 1st and 10 at the Bucs' 39-yard line. Saquon absolutely cooks Eldridge in coverage. Not what we want to see. Pinckney and Devin White on the stop. Loss of 1. As it's now going to be 2nd and 11. And Ramirez, 33, stopped in the backfield. Shout out to Ramirez. It's going to be 3rd and 12. Huge stop. Let's get a stop. Let's get, I hope, a turnover, but Pinckney, Posey almost gets there, and they're going to settle for 3. All right, we're going to start off the second drive of the game as Sexy Dexy gets in the backfield. The Giants, they've come to play. Mark Gilmore not having the hottest start. Quez Watkins, and it's going to be probably moved back because of a hold. Yeah, 2nd and 19, not ideal, but we're going to make it work. Gilmore absolutely destroyed by Dexter Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence is making his impact early in this game. This is going to be 3rd and 20 from the 9. Pat Barry to Cohen. A beautiful recognition, great awareness. As now it's going to be 4th and inches. He saw the pressure, great recognition by Pat Barry to just get it out. Quez Watkins holds it on, and we're going to preserve the football. I mean, what great awareness to just get it out. Let Cohen do his thing. And it's going to be to Julian and almost intercepted by 26. I don't hate trying to go for the deep ball there. Cohen, the intended guy, but Pat Barry banks on the pressure. Now it's going to be 3rd and 10, 41 seconds left in this first quarter. Let's see what Pat Barry and the boys can do. A tight throw to Julian, and what a catch. What a catch. What close throw. That was a big boy throw. Cohen, he's going to get it, pick up the first as well as we start the second quarter. Kind of been a fast game so far. Not going to complain too much. Gilmore, he's going to bounce it. Way to stay patient. Gets a gain of roughly about 8. That's what we want to see. Great blocking by the offensive line. As great juke to pick up the first and then some by Mr. Gilmore. You love to see it. First and 10 at the Giants 28. And Dexter Lawrence, sexy Dexy, getting in the backfield. He has been a havoc so far in this game. First half, I think that's a second. As that's to Quez Watkins, who's going to break it off for a huge chunk of yards there. But he's been a havoc this entire first half so far. As we're going to call an audible, Gilmore, he's going to go up the middle, almost gets the first down to the 6-yard line. As now it's going to be 2nd and 2, and we're going to run it away from Sexy Dexy, and it's going to pay off. Touchdown, Mark Gilmore, as we're going to take the lead, hopefully with the extra point. A 83-yard drive that was 4 minutes and 38 seconds long. We'll take it, as they're going to take it out. Well, touchback, basically. As those are the type of drives that helps our defense get some rest. Saquon Barkley, he's going to try to bounce it outside. Skinner, terrible tackling, but Mr. Byron Young, the rookie defensive tackle there. This is going to be 2nd and 4. And it's going to be, I don't know who 18 is. Oh, Devin Hodges on the reception. It's going to be 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. Bolton under center. He's going to get there. Young there on the pressure, and incomplete, intended for Hodges. Way to get in the backfield by Young. Underrated guy. I think he's a very, very good defensive tackle. Devin White gets bulldozed by Saquon, but Byron Young, whose specialty is the run stopper, showed why we drafted him with the 1st round pick or 2nd round. Either way, he was a very early 1st round pick, as it's going to be 3rd and 6. Eddie Jackson on the coverage of Mr. Hodges, and we're going to force a 3 and out here. So they do get the ball they receive the second half kickoff, the Giants. So we have a lot of work to do. Chenault just dropped that. Adoree Jackson on the coverage. 2:33 left here in the first half. Gilmore, he's going to bust it outside. What a huge run to the 40, 50. Goes out of bounds at the 42-yard line. Big time run. As we let it run down to the 2-minute warning. As now it's 1st and 10. That was a big play. Biggest play of the game so far for either offense or defense. Julian Roltz with the huge gain. Absolutely huge pickup there. As it's going to be 1st and 10. Sexy Dexy forces the fumble on Pat Barry. He's been a menace to us all day in the backfield, and he forces a fumble on Pat Barry. Huge turnover caused by the New York Giants. And you would think maybe there was someone open that we could have just thrown to, but hey, let's get a stop. Pinckney. But Cansey's going to get there for the sack. That's what we want to see. We've been in the backfield a lot so far in this game, in this first half, but we haven't gotten maybe the sacks that we would want. Eldridge there for the tackle. As they're not going to call a timeout, we're not going to force a timeout as well. I'm okay with them having terrible clock management, but I also know they don't want to give us the ball. As we're going to call a timeout. We start the second half. Hey, I'm not going to complain. If they don't want to be aggressive, that's fine. I would have at least tried, but, that's just me. As Bolton in the offense, they're going to get right back to work. Hand it off to Saquon. Young, White, Pinckney, a bunch of bucks there for only a gain of 2. I want Bolton to beat us. I do not want Saquon to beat us. I want him to beat us. Oh, what a play by David, and then Young. He's been all over the place. He's been great this game. Really proven himself to be the future defensive tackle of this defense. But how do we let Devin Hodges that wide open? It's Jonathan Michael Schmitz gets injured on the play. That is what has killed us so far in this game, is just third down conversions. The big take one in the first half, that conversion. And then this, as look at Young getting bulldozed by Barkley as he almost picks up the first there. As it seems like they're just going to rely on their superstar running back, which rightfully so, Eddie Jackson. He saves a timeout, and another one of their offensive linemen, Cole Ray, is down as well, which I want to bring the pressure. They're down a couple of offensive linemen, as I don't even know who number 0 is. He's going to pick up the first. Parrish Campbell's going to pick up the first, gain of 11. And the Giants, they're moving here to start off the second half. Pierce, he's going to get Barkley, but it's only going to be a gain of 2 for Mr. Barkley. As now it's an empty set backfield for Mr. Bolton. Ooh, almost intended. I don't know who number 86 was, but Ramirez was on the coverage. 3rd and 8. This is going to be a huge, huge stop. As Eldridge gets there for the pressure throwaway. We're going to let them get a field goal. I'll take it. Great return by Kendrick Parrish, returning it to the 38-yard line. It's been an interesting game so far, as Gilmore, he's going to get down to about the 48-yard line. He's got 84 rushes so far. 84 rushing yards on 10 carries. As we are slowly climbing towards near the end, or halfway through the third quarter, gain of 9 there. As CJ Mosley was there on the tackle. It's Gilmore. Again, he's going to hand it off. That's going to be beautiful. Shout out to the wide receivers blocking. That's going to pick up the first down, and then more down to the 31-yard line. And now Jamario Matthews is coming in, the bigger back. I would say the heavy hitter, as he's going to try to push but only gets a yard. Here we give Mark Gilmore a rest. He's worked his butt off so far this game. As it's an audible. Oh, to Watkins. Gets about 3 there on the weird RPO screen. As now it's going to be 3rd and 6 as we're winding down here in the third quarter. Barry. Gilmore, the halfback screen. He's going to bounce it outside. What a block. 4th and 4. Controversial, but I think Pat Barry, he wants to keep this offense rolling. To Quez Watkins, who's going to pick up the first. Shout out, man. 2 for 2 on 4th downs today. Matthews and Sexy Dexy's there in the backfield as well. Again, 3rd or 4th tackle for a loss. As the third quarter is slowly winding down here in East Rutherford. Barry, he's going to roll out. He's going to hit Quez Watkins down to the 3-yard line. Huge play. What a rollout. As we're going to get one more playoff before the end of the quarter. Again, Dexter Lawrence making his presence known. It's going to be a 7-6 ball game entering the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter here. Mark Gilmore going to get, I want to say untouched, but we're going to score to extend our lead. As let's see what Mr. Bolton and the Giants offense have to do to respond. Out of the gate, they're going to with Barkley. And Barkley, he's not going down without a fight. A gain of 7. It's going to be 2nd and 3 for the Giants. For the most part, we've contained Barkley, as Young is going to get there again, and they've been the 3rd best rushing offense in the league. We have completely shut them out. as Young, as Bolton, he's going to hit Mr. Slayton for a good chunk of change. So now it's going to be 1st and 10, roughly under 5 minutes left here. Barkley trying to cut up but loses one to Young. His 4th tackle, he's been all over this running game. A big reason why Saquon has had a quiet day. For sure, 2nd and 11. Again, Barkley, he's going to break one. Eddie Jackson, Skinner, and Winfield are going to be there. I would say one of his biggest runs so far today. As now it is 1st and 10. We have just hit under 4 minutes left. Young, he's going to stuff Barkley, but Barkley's going to get a gain of 4. And surprising, this defense, we don't get turnovers. 31st in terms of takeaways. What a play by Jamel Dean. I thought for a second I spoke interception to existence, but I'll take the knockdown as well. 3rd and 6, bringing the heat. Incomplete pass, 4th and 6 for the Giants. With 3:28 left in the game, let's see if we can close this out. Oh, what beautiful blocking. Gilmore is going to get down, but oh no. Our top pass catcher, Julian, is down. Not ideal. Not ideal. And that does stop the clock as well. Gilmore, he's going to cut it up, and he gets a big chunk of yards. Mario Matthews is in. It was just a cramp. We're just going to keep him out, rest for a couple of plays. Matthews rumbling, stumbling, bumbling for a gain of 4. As they're one of the better run defenses, but we've put up 122 yards on them. Matthews is going to cut it inside, almost gets the 1st. It's going to be 3rd and inches. It's Pat Barry. He's going to hand it off to Matthews. Matthews, he's going to pick up the 1st and then some. And that's going to be the final play before the 2-minute warning. As now we're past the 2-minute warning here at the Giants' 48-yard line. I think they know what they're coming. They're going to call their first timeout. No surprise there. We do not get a gain. As we're going to try to run it away from Dexter Lawrence, but he'll probably still stop us somehow, some way. No blocking there. Matthews is only going to get a gain of 1. It's going to be 3rd and 9, 1:53 left in the ball game. Gilmore. Can he pick up the 1st? He cannot. As this is a very, very, very huge take. Gilmore, he's going to burst. Gets the 1st down. And basically seals the ball game up. As we get the huge win on the road, 14-6. Pat Barry did not throw the ball a lot. 12-16, 122. No picks, no touchdowns. Kind of was, I don't want to say game manager, but a game manager. Rushing 17 carries, 126. 2 rushing touchdowns for Mark Gilmore. 10-18. Getting the hard-nosed runs for us with Jamario Matthews, Quez Watkins, Julian Gilmore. Really nothing spectacular. Defense only gave up 1 sack. Defensively, Lorenzo Young was in the backfield. 6 total tackles. Only 2 tackles for a loss, including 1 sack. Let me see the Giants. Yeah, he had 7 tackles for a loss and a sack. Dexter Lawrence was a huge, huge problem. And Amos was also one of the big tacklers as well. Ladies and gentlemen, we have made the playoffs. We snuck in as the 7th seed. We will be facing the Los Angeles Rams, where if we win, we will face the Falcons, our division rivals, Cowboys, Eagles, and then Vikings, Giants. Ravens get a bye in the AFC. The Bills and Steelers will be squaring off, followed by Chiefs, Colts, and then Jags, Bengals. Before we end this episode, we are going to just say, hey, we're supporter, you're heading into your first playoff game, makes or breaks career. We're going to play cool. Every game is important. When you're playing a playoff team, you have to bring your best. There are no guarantees when you play a team that is this good. All in all, a hell of a season. Before I quickly end it, I'll show you kind of the overall view. We started off the season 0-4, losing really bad to the Bills, close, well, not really close, but getting blown up by the Panthers, Dolphins, Bills, losing a shootout to the Rams, who we lost in week 4, a rematch of that game. Then we beat the Patriots, who are terrible, lost in a very close game with the Titans, and then also the Falcons, who are the number 1 seed. As a 1-6 team backs against the wall on this Thursday night game, we went out and we balled against the Saints in New Orleans, then hosted the Jets, blew them out of the door, dropping a 50-burger, and then a shootout with the Detroit Lions, which would come in favor later on in the season as we beat them. I think this game really helped us propel to this wild card spot, and then we got humbled, losing double digits to the Falcons, a close game against the Cardinals. We recouped, beat the Seahawks, who also were in playoff contention, knocked off the Panthers as well, and the 49ers as well. These 3 games we were all fighting for the last playoff spot. We beat all of them. The Saints was just a tune-up game. And then the Giants, who were already making the playoffs as well. And if you see the played twice, it was getting slow. So I restarted the game just in general, and it still saved. And it went a lot quicker. So if you see me say I played it twice, that's why. Because I was afraid that, we were going to lose it all, and I'd rather do that. But next episode will be the playoff debut. What a turnaround it has been. 9-8. We're going up against Matthew Stafford, Aaron Donald, and the Los Angeles Rams. Let me know down in the comments your prediction, and until next video, you guys have a good one. Peace.